You have never truly met the person you hate the most. Oh, you see their face on your screen. You read their comments. You feel that sharp heat rise in your chest when they speak. But you aren't looking at a human being. You are looking at a phantom, a silhouette crafted by a ghostwriter you never hired. In the digital age, we have mastered the art of efficient hatred. We don't need a reason to despise anymore, we only need a category. We live in a world of polished surfaces, yet we feel a hollow ache, the echo of a conflict we didn't start, but are forced to finish. What if I told you that your enemy is the most important person in your life? That without them, you wouldn't know where you end and the world begins. Imagine a mountain range, white and jagged like the teeth of a dying god. A blizzard, a whiteout, where the sky and earth merge into a single blinding veil. Two men enter a cave from opposite ends. They move like ghosts, frost clinging to their eyelashes. They are not men here, they are uniforms. One is charcoal gray, the other is forest green. Between them lies an invisible line thicker than any wall. The wind outside screams, but the silence inside is louder. It is the silence of two predators waiting for the other to blink. The charcoal gray soldier reaches for his canteen. The metallic clink echoes like a gunshot. The forest green soldier flinches, his hand twitching toward a blade he no longer has the strength to wield. For 3 hours, they are not humans. They are the aggressor and the defender. They are the living embodiments of Carl Schmitt's darkest realization. But the cold is a great leveler. To survive, one must move. Charcoal gray fumbles with a small tinderbox. His fingers are blue, useless. Forest green watches. He sees the struggle. Not the struggle of an enemy, but the struggle of biology against entropy. Without a word, green slides a dry piece of cedar across the ice. As the fire flickers to life, the shadows on the cave walls grow tall. They share a stale crust of bread. Then, the moment of rupture. Charcoal gray pulls out a small, laminated photograph to shield the flame. It slips. Forest green picks it up. It is not the same woman. It is not the same child. But the composition is identical. The same sepia fatigue. The same desperate hope. In that small square of paper, the concept of the enemy shatters, leaving only the reality of the victim. Carl Schmitt, the controversial political theorist, argued that the heart of the political is not about policy. It is the distinction between friend and enemy. To Schmitt, an enemy isn't someone you hate personally. You don't have to find them evil. An enemy is simply the other, someone whose very existence, in a moment of crisis, represents a negation of your way of life. Look at the screen in your hand. The algorithms are Schmittian architects. They function by creating outgroups. To solidify your identity as a progressive, you need a reactionary. To be a patriot, you need a traitor. Identity is a fortress, and every fortress needs a siege. But contrast this with the stoicism of Marcus Aurelius. While Schmitt says the enemy is a necessity for the state, Aurelius says the enemy is a mirror for the soul. The best revenge, the emperor wrote, is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Here is the tension. Schmitt warns that if we stop believing in enemies, we become defenseless. But the cave warns that if we only see enemies, we lose our humanity. Ideology is a lens that turns a person into a concept. When you see a liberal or a conservative, you are practicing mental decapitation. You have removed the head and replaced it with a flag. How do we break the mirror? We use the reframing of the proxy. Most of our enmity today is proxy hatred. We hate people for the symbols they carry, not the lives they lead. If we accept Schmitt's premise, that the enemy defines us, then our worry about their victory becomes a realization of our own dependency. If they disappeared tomorrow, who would you be? Without your outrage, what is left of your personality? If we accept that the enemy is a mental construct designed to give us a false sense of belonging, then our anxiety about them winning becomes an invitation to build a self that doesn't require a villain to exist. The blizzard eventually stopped. The two men walked out of the cave. They didn't shake hands. They didn't become friends. They simply walked in opposite directions. But they both left their rifles in the snow. Because you cannot shoot a mirror once you've seen your own eyes in it. Who are you, when no one is there to oppose you?